Welcome over to Automotive World, everyone. I'm your host, Renee Mystery, and tonight we are going to go through not only Honda's sales figures for the month of May, we're going to go through Acura's as well, obviously because Acura is owned and made by Honda. Honda is the parent company. We're going to go through all of this. Sit down and relax. This is, usually I try to make these videos about 10 to 15 minutes at most. This one, however, just because we have to go through both Honda and Acura, is going to be quite a while. So sit down and relax because we've got some more mixed results. Very similar to what we had the last time when we did the video for Honda and Acura sales. Honda auto sales. The momentum, though, is continuing. They're up 11% in 2024. American Honda sales were a total 127,129 units in May. That is a second best sales month of 2024, and it was led by a very balanced sales of cars and light trucks. So essentially what they're saying between their, obviously the sedans and, their SUVs, that was, it was a very balanced, the entire portfolio sold well. It wasn't just a few models that really carried the load. It was really a balanced portfolio. And after the first 5 months of 2024, their momentum has continued. The Honda and Acura brands tracking ahead of 10% of the projected growth increase, with sales of 577,539 units through May 2024. Now, before we get into both of them, we're going to do the highlights here. I'm going to warn you guys. Last time when we did this video, Acura was struggling. Acura, we're going to see, really is still struggling. And it's really, really not good to see. There's really trouble, and we can see it here in the charts overall at Acura. There is trouble. So before we get into that, let's start off with the highlights. Honda brand sales up to 114,000 units in May. That's 14% year-over-year growth. Fourth straight month above 100,000 units sold. 4 straight months with over 100,000 units sold. Most brands sell maybe like 80,000, 50 to 80,000 units in a month if they're lucky. Honda is selling over 100,000 units. Honda is, they're killing it. Absolutely killing it. And we don't expect anything less from Honda. The electrified sales load Honda, 26,912 units sold, led by the CR-V Hybrid, the Accord Hybrid, and the Prologue. The Prologue sales reaching 612 units in May, as the initial rollout continues in the targeted markets. CR-V sales top 30,000 units for the 4th straight month, with May hybrid sales topping 50% of the mix. HR-V sales more than 13,000 units, and that is up 45% year over year. Huge, huge, huge gains. Pilot sales top 12,500 units, and what Honda says is strong demand for the Trail Sport models. That's really, really cool because I love SUVs and I love trucks, and I especially love ones where you can tow and go off-road and do things like that. The fact that there is demand with the Trail Sport model might mean that Honda would continue to invest and go even further in that than just do appearance packages and things like that. So the fact that there is strong demand in the Trail Sport model really, really shows where the customer, where consumers are looking in the market. And this isn't any surprise. Trucks and SUVs, even if you don't take them off-road, people want them. Passport and Odyssey post best months of the year. So the Honda Passport and the Odyssey in May had the best months of this year. Civic sales top 20,000 units for the 4th straight month, with Accord and Civic combining for over 37,000 units. And Accord hybrid sales represented 52% of the model mix. So what does that mean? It means that the Accord buyers, and 52% of them chose the hybrid. And so that's huge. Huge, huge, huge for Honda. Acura brand sales scored best month of 2024 with 12,741 units in the month of May. So kind of going back how, I just said most car makers, if they're lucky, score maybe 50 to 80,000 units in a month, not even, forget about over 100,000, but maybe 50 to 80, we got Acura. And they're scoring almost 13,000. Almost. MDX and RDX, just like last time we did this video, topped 9,500 units, with MDX posting a best month of 2024, sales over 6,300 units, and RDX topping 3,200 units. Integra sales topped 2,500 units, best month of the year, and leading all premium gateway competitors with the segment share over 40%. Really, really interesting, because the last time we looked at the Integra, it wasn't doing well, and the all-electric ZDX A-Spec units began arriving at the dealerships they begin arriving right now. The Type S variant, though, that's going to arrive early June. That's where it's slated. So really, really interesting. Let's now get into the models themselves. So Accord, we're up, right? We can see here from May 23 to May 24. Accord is actually down. So Accord went from 20,000 units in May 2023 to 13,794 units. So that is down 33.7%. It's a pretty big decrease, but they're still selling some, but that's down quite a lot. And year-to-date sales, we are down 17%, and that is, from 82,110 vehicles last year. Right now we're at 68,124. Civic, we are up huge, 43.2%. CRV up 6.8%. HRV up 41.9%. With the Civic going almost 24,000 units compared to 16,000 units last year. CRV almost close to 37,500 units compared to 33 last month of May. Odyssey also up a little bit as well, up about 500 units. That's a 4.6% gain right there. The Passport, that is still down overall. Last month of May, 4,420. This month of May, 3,150. So that is down 31.5%. We talked a little bit about why I think the Passport is down, for good reasons, because the Pilot is just a better vehicle. We talked about that in the last video, but essentially the Pilot is cheaper, it's bigger, it has a better engine, it's a little bit more efficient, and it's newer overall. And so Honda really needs to update the Passport. When we look at their year-to-date sales, they're pretty close within 2,000, so not too bad there, but we are down a little bit there. With the HR, we come over here to the HRV, they're up 43.2%. When it comes to the Odyssey, they're still down about 7%. Passport sales are really down, though, at 33.1%. 20,094 last year. This year we're at 13,649. The Pilot, though, absolutely killing it. Last year in the month of May, 10,439 units. This year we're at 12,561 units. That is 15.7% jump. Even when we go to year to date, it's a 19% jump. We are over from just a bit over 45,000 units. We're already at almost 54,500 units. We're about 6 units away from 54,500 units. So the new Pilot, like I said, absolutely killing it. The Prologue was just released, so not too many numbers there, but when we look at the year to date, 705 units were sold. And when we come to May 2024, 612 units were sold. So out of the 705, most of those orders are coming from last month, which is really, really interesting. And the Ridgeline. The Ridgeline was also down last year. I talked about why the Ridgeline was down. Same reason as the Passport. Both the Passport and the Ridgeline are built off the Pilot. The Ridgeline is older, it's more expensive, the engine is not as efficient, it's still a V6 in the Pilot, makes a little bit more power. Honda is seeing big slips, 66.6% down in the Ridgeline, almost 5,000 units last year. Currently, we're at a little bit over 1,700. And we look at year-to-date sales, they're also down about 26.6%. From 22.7, almost 28,000 units to just, close to 17,000 units at 16,957. I don't know. I know for, car makers, it can be really hard with R&D to roll it out, but I don't know what Honda is waiting for. Honda, the reason your Ridgeline and Passport sales are struggling is because the Pilot, the car that is responsible for the other two models, is better. It's bigger. It's cheaper by a lot. It still has a V6, a little bit more power, more fuel efficient. Looks better on the outside, has a better interior, better tech. Honda, it is time to update the Passport and the Ridgeline. There's no need to wait around. On the Trail Sport, you have strong demand. It's time to update them. That is the reason these sales are lacking. It's time to update them. Despite that, let's come on over to Acura. Now, sadly, the ILX is gone. Rest in peace to that. Despite the Integra having what was, I believe, a best ever sales month. Leading the way, Integra sales top 2,500 units, best month of the year. So a best ever sales month. Despite the Integra actually selling more than that, 2,563 units, that car is still down from last year 12.2%. And year to date, they're still down 18.9%. So the Integra, despite having an all, best month of this year, it's still down. It's still down. The NSX, rest in peace. When it came out, it was cool. From back when it was out in the early 90s and early 2000s. It just wasn't competitive, though. I mean, as soon as the NSX came out, there was already things that had that technology and were better than it. The TLX, rest in peace to that as well. Down 76.5%. Year-to-date sales down 50.8%. Last month of May, 2,173 units. This year we're at 532 units. The only really positive signs we saw was with the MDX and the RDX, as we saw last time. Both of those sales are up a little bit. MDX is at 6,322 units versus 5,935. That is up 2.4% for the month-to-month comparison. Year-to-date, they're still down 21% from 26,916 last year to 21,564 this year. And RDX is 3,241 for this month of May versus last year, 2,791 units. That's still an 11% jump compared to last year. And when we look at the sales this year, we had 12,173 last year to date. This year, 16,817. So that's up. It's up 36%. But we did the numbers last year, and we can see Honda has done great. Whether it's for monthly and the cars and the trucks. When we look at year to date, they're doing great. And then we come to Acura. Despite claiming the best ever sales and for the month and things like that, they're still down, and it's not by a little bit, it's by a lot. Let's shorten this video a little bit, and let's just do the insight. Let's cut the crap. No BS, right? Honda, just like I said in the last one, the Accord sales going down. That is that is concerning. I am concerned about the Accord. It is the only one I'm concerned about. I am not concerned about the Passport or the Ridgeline, even though those sales are down a lot, and I mean some of them more than Ridgeline, 66.6% down. The reason they are down is because they need to update it, and it's very simple. Honda, this is the way they've done the Passport and the Ridgeline forever. It's based off the Pilot. You have a new Pilot. Take the design language, interior, exterior, the new engine, all of that stuff. Put it to the Passport and the Ridgeline. There is no reason the Pilot is a bigger vehicle and has a newer engine with a V6, more efficient, a little bit more power, better interior, better exterior. It's a bigger vehicle. It's a 3-row vehicle, and it's cheaper by like $3,000 starting MSRP, and it has the same towing capacity. Honda, all you have to do, Passport Ridgeline, update it. It's time to update it. Cut the crap, cut the waiting. It's time to update it. I'm not worried about those two models because when they update it, they'll do fine. For Honda, what I'm concerned about is the Accord, it going down. I'm not too worried about the sedans because the Civic is absolutely killing it, but I am worried about the Accord going down. Definitely raising some eyebrows there. Very, very concerned. Overall, though, not really concerned about Honda because once they update the two models, they'll be fine. The Accord, we'll see where that goes. Like I said in the last video, Acura is killing them. Acura is like, right now, Acura is like a dead horse. Just beating a dead horse, and it's not coming back to life. The ILX is gone, not worried about that. NSX is gone, didn't do anything, not worried about that. TLX wasn't selling, it's out of there, not worried about that. The Integra, when it came out, people didn't like it, even though they claim, and this was their best month of this year for the Integra, it still didn't do well. Acura is living off of 2 cars, and we look at the year-to-date sales on one, they're really living off of 1 car, but Acura is living off of 2 cars right now. Honda, I said this in the last video, I'm not going to extend this video. The biggest problem with Honda isn't Honda, it's Acura. And for many reasons, the cars aren't competitive, they're not a good price, they're just not injecting that that youth and those consumers back into the brand. There's no excitement in the brand at Acura. Like I said, Passport Ridgeline will be fine once they're updated. Accord, a little bit concerned, but they're still doing well, but a little bit concerned. Honda, you need to get the crap together. You need to have a meeting with Acura. They need to get the crap together because Acura is killing you guys. They are weighing you down. And it sucks because I really like some of the Acuras. Like Acura has made some cool cars in the past, but Acura is holding Honda back. And Honda's already killing it. Let me make this clear. Honda as total is still killing it. They are still up overall. They are still making more money than they have ever, right? But if Honda wants to make more money, and if Honda wants to eliminate the problem, which is what you do with these kind of, this analysis and, what you do in the corporate world, Acura needs to get their crap together because we can claim and say, oh, Integra had a best month and all that. They're still down. We can still tell based off the numbers, based off the chatter, nobody's really interested in Acura anymore. And it sucks because Acura is a good brand. They deserve to stay. I like the older Acuras. But Honda, if there's anything to take away from this, the Accord, like I said, raising some eyebrows. I want to know why this is down that much. It's raising some eyebrows. But the biggest problem with Honda isn't Honda. It's Acura. And Honda needs to get it together with Acura. And really, it's actually not Honda that needs to get it together. Acura needs to get it together with Acura. That's going to do it for now. I'm not going to extend this video. It's the same insight as I gave last time. The results are on the wall. It's clear. They're still doing good at Honda, but Acura needs to get it together. Like I said, I don't want to be an Acura hater. I like a lot of the older Acuras, but it is what it is. The numbers are on the wall. Let me know what you guys and girls think down below. If you're an Acura owner, let me know what you guys think of this news. Is it time? A lot of times in most other parts of the world, they don't sell Acura. Is it time maybe Acura is it done? Is it time to get rid of Acura and just, give more of that R&D over to Honda? Let me know what you guys think down below. It's going to do it for now. Thanks for watching, everyone.